Hello guys, so welcome to tonight's show. My name is CHUKS and you're on JFL TV, the home of football. So if today is the first time we see our program, for you to bring you the latest Arsenal news updates as they drop all over the world. So for now, I will start with tonight's show. So this show is coming late because I did wait for the transcripts of the press conference where I do ahead of the Champions League match we will play against Slavia Prague at Czech Republic. But the transcript never they uploaded for the Arsenal website as at the time I'm recording this video. So probably not tomorrow we'll go unpack all those things, but there's still some snippets in the media space. But before then, let's begin with this. Arsenal set to play Crystal Palace 2 days after visit to Everton. Now, that Crystal Palace cup game will be December 16 before. They don't reschedule them now to a new date. So that new date now, it don't cause a lot of controversies because second story, Arsenal will face Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup quarterfinal on Thursday, December 23, 2 days after a trip to Everton. Now you get another story now 2-in-1. Look at the first one. Victor Gyökeres not spotted in the Arsenal training, but that one move first face one. Now, based on the way it take happen, I think that the para, yes, because part of the press conference that even though I never see the transcripts, but some people say those who did present for the press conference, they tell us what happened, like the London Evening Standard. Because I think that they call for the match to be rescheduled. The match I think that they talk about to be rescheduled is the Everton game because it makes no sense. How do we visit the new Everton Stadium? Maybe 2 days later. 2 days before rather. Then we just rest 1 day. Then you come play this Crystal Palace game. It don't make any sense at all. Even the Daily Mail put out this report. Arsenal officially requested to be saved from the fixture congestion chaos. Is rejected as they face 2 matches in 3 days, just hours before Christmas. Now, Arsenal will face a tricky run-up to the Christmas with 2 matches in the space of 3 days while receiving a date for their Carabao Cup qualifier match against Crystal Palace. Now, when you read the entirety of the reports put out by the Daily Mail, you consider the talk say the match will take place at the Emirates Stadium on December 23, 8 p.m., just hours to go until the start of the festive period rather than on December 16. The date will be say they're supposed to plan before. Now, this gives Arteta's men scant time to prepare for their cup tie because they go first of all face Everton on December 21, 2 p.m. How do you play on 21? You now have just 22 to rest. 23, you are playing again. Make it make sense. So now, what's Arteta the dog say? It has to be changed. There's no 2 ways about it. Now, the reason we make with the year say they don't want to change it because even Crystal Palace said they play on that 21. So the same thing now because Crystal Palace and Arsenal have similar calendar. Crystal Palace will play Leeds at the Elland Road on the 21, same time, 2 p.m., same time. Then on the 23, they will come face Arsenal. You get. So, but they forget say Crystal Palace don't get anything they fight for. We are in a title race for God's sake. So we're supposed to get bigger priority. We are a big team. So that was that they say they have to do something about it. It doesn't make any sense because Arteta in his press conference was talking about it. He said, hopefully they will move our Premier League match because it doesn't make any sense, obviously. We have now decided the dates of the Crystal Palace. I'm sure they will change the Premier League dates as well. Now, in the midst of all this brouhaha, the EFL, with in charge of the Carabao Cup, don't come and support the para. Say, in as much as the challenge where they don't give Arsenal and Crystal Palace day, but not be really them, it go be saying UEFA. Saying that UEFA now go put that their UEFA competition in the midst of all this because EPL calendar already there. EFL calendar already there. Now UEFA go carry their own, join in the middle of everything, come congest the whole area. In fact, when you look at the reports put up by the Mirror, EFL issue fierce statements after unavoidable Arsenal versus Crystal Palace Carabao Cup row. Now, when you read the entirety of the report in the statement, the organization said, in determining the schedule For the quarterfinals, the league recognizes the challenge it presents to Arsenal and Crystal Palace in particular, and the frustration and concern that will undoubtedly be felt by their managers and players. These are concerns which will be shared by the league. Now, the expansion of European Cup competitions and number of exclusive match nights across Europe ahead of the 2024-2025 season, implemented without adequate consultation with domestic leagues, means that such scheduling conflicts for both the EFL and other competitions will be there for all to see. So normally, UEFA are supposed to consult people who don't get their own matches for calendar already before you go come put your own. With those teams competing in Europe already entering the EFL Cup in round 3 and having been forced to implement further draw conditions to avoid scheduling conflicts at this stage of the competition in the past 2 seasons, we have shown a willingness to compromise. In fact, the major grouse of EFL now say UEFA no really follow them talk. Therefore, that day, so UEFA put their own match where Crystal Palace go play, I think the Conference League. Therefore, no put down for that day. Therefore, look for another date. But at the end of the day, Baba, now the issue with the ground with this also, we see the check shot whether the Premier League will do something, because you can't come and punish us. We will do our own JJ. Crystal Palace carry their own JJ again. Our calendar was okay again. But now we don't reschedule our calendar don't get problem now. So we'll just watch and see how they will unfold, how they will resolve all this matter. Now, back to this particular story. I told you it's 2 in 1. Victor Gyökeres was not spotted boarding the plane as Arsenal flew to Prague to face Slavia Praha earlier. You get so, and a part of the reason why they talk say today we go know by the time we the traveling contingent lists don't come aside, we can't know whether in follow travel or be in no follow travel. So now don't the official say go be available. Now the next question becomes, will he be available against Sunderland? So now that one myself I no can know at the moment whether he will play against Sunderland, but we are hopeful that it becomes available. Very, very key. Now let's bring the message from one of our sponsors, the Super Eagles Supporters Club of Nigeria. They are calling you to come and join their membership, this club, to support the Super Eagles in their travel. So support them either locally or internationally. So if you're interested in joining them, you can contact Prince Ademola Alawode on 08034215314. The number is at the bottom of the screen, as you can see. So if you're interested, do give him a call to indicate interest, so that he will let you know the registration requirements. Also, they have a page on Facebook, Super Eagles Supporters Club of Nigeria, to follow them, and they're also on Instagram, Super Eagles Supporters Club of Nigeria. The number is at the bottom of the screen. Use the number and contact him. Now, TBR, want to look into Declan Rice's ban threats for Bayern Munich clash, because according to them, Arteta need to make an obvious call. Now, Rice will be key for such a fixture, but he's currently walking a suspension tightrope. With 2 yellow cards picked up in 3 games, 1 more booking, and he will be banned for the match against Bayern. Given the quality in the squad, Arsenal should be able to rotate against Slavia Prague and still be competitive. Similar cannot be said of Bayern Munich, meaning that resting Rice is of the utmost importance. Should be that what it means around the talk say, left for me, may Rice no involved. Funnily enough, some people going to talk say, may Rice play. Say this Slavia Prague na big match also. You get say may Rice play. I don't really say I'm that way. Not that you are not saying the match is important, but look at the bigger picture. You get, look front. To make us more competitive and in a position of strength, we need to rest Rice against Rice. No feel why you can't get depth. Somebody Merino should be able to play there. Why you can't get depth? So something has to give. For me, I don't talk am before. Eze play there, Waneri play 10. You get even that 10 I use, and I feel see the interchanger. Now the way we meet this year, you get so something has to give, and what has to give is Rice not playing. So now my own personal opinion with that, but at the end of the day, we'll see that I get stuff for us, because that's just the thing. So yeah, everybody get their own opinion, but now the way me, I didn't say I'm 100. I don't feel like for you. Now, according to what ESPN, you can they ask, would Mickey van der Ven start at this or for these clubs? So when they mention Arsenal, the panel is really everybody saying no. Van der Ven, a very good player, one of the fastest defenders, even the fastest defender in world football. Very peace. They say no. They mention Man City, everybody shout yes. They mention Liverpool, everybody shout yes. They mention just everybody shout yes. Like they mention different things, everybody shout. I say this goes to show you the level we be. Imagine player who starts for City, start for Liverpool, start for every other, but when they reach our turn, na Benjamin material. Why did you say Maguire is saying no, you can't join us, then go stay for bench, saying go prefer to stay at the bench, saying go prefer to stay for Crystal Palace. Because we call me Aji and Benjamin, get check all the top defenders in the world. Me as I did like this, I go take Magalhaes over Virgil van Dijk any day, anytime. Man, that don't shall ask me, I don't come up for prime. You don't enter the declining era. There's no the prime again. When nobody mentioned, you put their Buka cavity, tell me say best defender in the world. We don't try him again. In what capacity? They don't try him again. In time don't pass. Yeah. So right now is our time to shine. We have to, in fact, one of our community members tell me is CHUKS. When was the last time we say opposition attackers they get offside against us, like plenty offside, the way they happen against other teams? You say don't think when you see opposition player they get offside, like the striker number 9 saying the offside, hey, Arsenal keep them offside. So Arsenal don't even get that time. First of all, the ball, now Arsenal will hold the ball. All of them about the attacker, everybody they defend. So when the time, that's why if you watch the way they press teams, the way they handle teams with ball. If they play long ball, they will play the long ball come Arsenal player. How many times say they will play long ball, the player will go carry? Now Arsenal player they will play the long ball because the way they press, the way they call them overload. The way they overload the opposition box in team. We Sabian pa. Yeah, so I think of that to me about listening about your more now. Wow. We just laugh them off. Now, Transfer itself talk the same thing, say no sign of it of Eucharist as Arsenal train today ahead of tomorrow game against Slavia Prague. So that one said, but I just feel it's not something serious. Yes, when you look at the Arsenal website, they show players as they train, as they prepare for the game before they travel. I see everybody, Berichese, Arteta, Declan Rice, Kapi, Zubimendi. Well, I even forgot to tell that Zubimendi don't come back. Zubimendi, you no be serious something. Get so you don't come back. So you follow train. In fact, another of our community member called me say, CHUKS, do you know that Arteta don't reason these boys on a personal level? Say, if any little thing do you feel any tingling sensation, anything, signify, make a comment to before the thing will come turn into something blown. You get so anything where the hands bite to tell me, I'll come on to you get no one your story. You get so let's know what they do. I used to remain that say feel something, Coachy, Alpha, I don't feel something, no, they come out. Now that something no can become big. So they expect the Kyrgyz own probably to be the same or not be the same, we don't really know. Because Arteta said they will have to do more tests to reveal what they really do. Now, positive thing can happen because quite a year since Trossard, he don't making hundreds Premier League appearance for Arsenal, and that Saturday night it happened again. So for the training ground, they call the follow and celebrate, and just get like a guard of honor, he passed through, like they tap arm again. Now, very good milestone, very, very good milestone. Like I'm very, very proud of him. I'm happy for him. Now, look at the notable absences we'll get for the Arsenal training this afternoon. Kepa Arrizabalaga, Inode, only God knows that. Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Gyökeres, Madueke, Kayabras, attacking players. Now there will get problem. Attacking players. But thank God, say after the Sunderland match, you are going to international break. After that, some players are going to be back, hopefully. Now, only one player in the Premier League this season has recorded 15 plus in touches in opposition box, dribbles completed, fouls won, chances created. That player is Bukayo Saka. When I see statistics like this, I begin to rack my brain, begin to scratch my head, say, if say this guy did last season when he missed 19 games for Arsenal, what if happen? Nobody knows. What if happen? What if happen? But well, we'll look on it. I don't want to think backwards. Now, I think I was talking about Gyökeres' injury. He said, I'm concerned because he hasn't had many muscular issues. He had to leave the pitch and he was feeling something. That's never a good sign, especially for a player that is very explosive. So we are digging in a little more to understand the injury. He's not going to be available for Slavia Prague. He not even trained today. So we are going to do more tests. So that test, we see the weights at the moment now. So Rio Ferdinand couldn't disagree with Gary Lineker over the term where they talk about Gyökeres. They say Gyökeres is a flat track bully. So he say he don't really agree. Because Gary Lineker says Gyökeres need to start scoring against the big teams to avoid being called a flat track bully. Now, the coordinator say, I don't want to call him a flat track bully. That's a bit unfair. That's England striker Gary Lineker, but you see the color. In fact, Ferdinand coordinator say, I don't agree with all of this. Is a flat track bully? Who cares if he is? Who cares? That might just be what Arsenal need. Of all the great strikers who have played in the Premier League, none of them have scored most of their goals against big teams, which is true. Yes. When you win the league, the big games against your title rivals take care of themselves normally. Most of the time, you lose your games when you don't beat the teams you are meant to beat. Now, on the final point, you can't bust my brain. We'll be saying, I wasn't missing by the top all the time. Where did Arsenal drop points at the back end of last season? The smaller teams. If he's the type of player that's going to go and bully those type of teams, you should go and win the league. That's the missing part of the jigsaw you are looking for, the missing part of the puzzle. So all this, but he can't do it against the bigger teams. Who cares? Someone else will find a way. Arsenal have 11 different scorers in the Premier League. In fact, 12 now. Nobody else has more than that, which means we score from all angles, division of labor. So that tells you are sharing enough goals around. If you can bully the rubbish teams and the average teams, I think you are going to win the league. Look at that season where we at the second half of the season, win 16 wins, drew 1 and lost 1. Now the lose where we lose against Arsenal Villa make us not win the league. Not because of Man City, not because of Liverpool, not because of anybody. Look at all the times we don't finish second. We don't finish second because of what we do against Man City, or what we do against Liverpool, today Manchester United or Chelsea, all those people. Now the average teams, when they follow you pursue league, now them they come up points for hand. Look at what we did last season compared to what we did this season. The match against Newcastle, the match against West Ham, the match against Fulham, the match against Crystal Palace. We dropped points in those games. We corrected those abnormally. Yes, it's an abnormality. We corrected them this season. That is why we are in a better position to win the league, and that is why we are gapping Liverpool 7 points and gapping City with 6 points. And if 2 of them draw in the weekend or win Sunderland, we will turn to 9 points and 8 points, which will be huge. So orange flat track bully, yes, let him be the flat track bully. Bully those things for us. Now, why we bring up, you get? So no really matter. I keep saying it. We can lose against Liverpool Man away and still win the league. We can lose against City Man away and still win the league. No, it may be the major problem. Now all this small leader. So now so it just make everybody just rest because I'm tired to the year this kind of flat track bully. I mean, leave and yes, now our flat track bully we like that. Now let's begin another message from another of our sponsor, Mr. Uche, who has this Toyota RAV4 2007 model. This is an American spec, na Tokumba motor BBs. So 6-cylinder engine, 5 seats capacity. Then the mileage is 110,225 kilometers. The location is Lagos, very affordable. Mr. Uche wants around 10 million naira. So if you're interested, get in touch with him on WhatsApp +234 7038869667. These are other pictures of the car. So if you're interested in this car, the numbers at the bottom of the screen, do give him a call. Do contact him on WhatsApp rather, not call. Yes. Now, away from that, so let's do another message from Mobile Wealth Associates at Co Limited. They into construction services, dredging, canalization, real estate, and shore protection works. They're also into mechanical and fabrication services and procurement services nationwide. So if you want to reach out to them, call them on +234 80646422. 34 and are located at number 7 Kennywood Road or Razi, opposite St. Stephen's Anglican Church, Port Harcourt. If you're interested in any of the services, please do reach out to them. So the biggest news of the night, I mean the fact say Arsenal on the set to play Crystal Palace 2 days after their visits to Everton in December, and they try to see how they would shift that Everton game. So anyhow the team they go, I will see let you know. So with that being said, I think it's 5 things for sports show and so I come here with tomorrow morning to give you the morning news. So thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the night. Have a night and nothing else. All right, guys. Ciao.